think I can do it. No, I know I can do it. I'm ready. All of my CDs from middle school. Like, I just need to be honest with myself. We're ready. Okay. There are rainbows everywhere and it's amazing. I, like so many other people, have spent most of my life prioritizing other people instead of myself. And it's a new year, so I really want to focus on healing my mind, body, and soul, because healing is so important, and it's really about time we prioritize that. And I thought the best way to start to improve myself is to improve the space around me. I have said that I'm the most me that I've ever been right now, and I want everything I own and the space I surround myself in to reflect that. In case you couldn't tell, I'm an introvert, and I really prioritize my alone time, and I love to have a space that is my own, a nice sacred space that I can rest and recharge and just be alone. And if you didn't know, this is my childhood bedroom. And being back here just makes the energy in here kind of confusing. Almost everything I've ever owned is still sitting here in this room, or is in the house somewhere. When I went to college and then I moved to Massachusetts with Mike, I kind of just left everything here as it was. And now moving back, I just kind of moved right back into the past, and it's kind of uncomfortable. I've had my own room, I think, since I was 12, and I've gone through so many different stages of life in here. I was trying to figure out who I was, but now, being so much more sure of myself and my identity, I find it really difficult to grow in here and truly be who I am now. Over the past couple years, I've mourned so many losses, whether it was friendships, who I used to be, how my life used to be, or just the past in general. And I've let go of so much on an emotional level. It feels so much easier now to let go of all of these physical things that are left over. We completely redid this room, so it no longer feels like my childhood bedroom. Mike and I are still in the process of turning it into our room. Well, half our room and half my art space. We painted, got rid of all the furniture, and completely redecorated. And it feels mostly pretty new and fresh. And I did a good job hiding most of it, but there's still so many things in here lingering from my past that are just hiding in this room that I don't want to carry with me anymore. And obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to figure out life one day at a time. And Mike and I are here temporarily to save money, and we're kind of unsure of our next plan. I have so much I want to do while we're in this transitional period, and that starts with the amount of stuff that I have, because I really don't like how much has been piling up over the years. But I think I also really want to focus on making this space sacred and making sure that everything in my space is intentional, because I'm prioritizing myself, and to me that means giving myself permission to let go of things that aren't meant for me without feeling guilt, because that's something I've always really struggled with. I think I can do it. No, I know I can do it. I'm ready. I've been ready for a while, so we're ready. Okay. just found these letters from people who aren't in my life anymore, old friends. And honestly, seeing these letters makes me really sad and fills me with a lot of guilt. I always wonder, did this not last because of me? Because of who I am, something that I did? People grow apart, of course, and that's very normal and perfectly okay. But I was often very resistant to that change, even if I knew it was right, especially if it was right for me. I've changed so much, and people have always said that when you go through a spiritual awakening, you lose a lot of people. And I always kept that in mind, but then it happened to me. I lost people that I thought would be in my life forever. And when reflecting on it, I realized that I so badly wanted us to grow and evolve together in the same direction. But that doesn't always happen, and that's okay. I'm grateful for those friendships, and I wish all of those people nothing but the absolute best. And I'm finally at peace knowing that what's truly meant for me will stay in my life. But also that everything in life is temporary. So all we can do is focus on the moment. And I don't want to spend more time having regret for the past. I like to hold on to things so tightly in my life until they crumble apart and there's nothing left. Because I had, especially before, such a hard time letting go. But I think I'm at a point in my life where I've mourned everything that's not in my life anymore, and I can fully move on. There's this giant box of stuff I'm going through, and I found all of my CDs from middle school. There's some pretty great stuff in here. Gorillaz, a classic. We have quite a bit of Fall Out Boy. We got some slightly more embarrassing middle school things. We have multiple Wombat CDs because middle school me fell in love with the Wombats. Nothing's changed. I also have every Paramore album at the time that came out. I was kind of angsty. I feel like everyone's kind of angsty as a middle schooler, but I just always loved music, and I would work really hard to buy my own CDs and purchase songs so I could listen to them. And then Spotify became a thing, which, don't get me wrong, is totally awesome, but then I just had all these CDs that I worked so hard to get, and part of me was like, I don't want to get rid of them, but also I don't need 3 different CDs from the Fray. I just don't. This is very middle school. But then I have Metallica, of course, because if you grow up in a rock and roll household, I don't know, I feel like I'm at a point though where I can get rid of my CDs because I really like records, and I'll play records and get the albums that I really love on vinyl, but I don't even have a way to play these CDs, you know? So I think I'm willing to part with them because they're really just sitting here. I'm also looking through this massive bin of art supplies. I just have some supplies that I've never used, and I feel like I just need to be honest with myself. If I've never used it before, I'm probably not going to. I'll often hold on to things and just wait for the opportunity to come up in which I'll use them, but I know what I like. So I'm just holding on to all this random stuff, and somebody else could really use it and love it. So, it's silly. Silly to hold on to all of it. And I feel so much better when my space is empty and I can really focus on the art supplies that I do really love and create things that feel right for me. Actually, my mom's a teacher in a middle school, so I think I'm gonna give a lot of this stuff away to her friend who's the art teacher, because she could probably use all this stuff in her classroom. And it's just sitting here collecting dust in my space. And it feels really good to give it to someone who could actually use it. I mean, I have all this paper and an entire empty sketchbook that I'm sure the students would really like. As I'm sitting here on my floor going through things, I'm noticing that I have a lot of rocks. Like, a lot of rocks. But there is a reason. I'm not just hoarding rocks. I've always loved to collect rocks everywhere I go, ever since I was little. And I just feel like they kind of hold the energy of the place I found them in, kind of like a crystal. That's kind of how I treat them. But I have so many that they're kind of starting to lose meaning. And also there's the fact that every time I look at them now, I'm just seeing that I've taken something away from the earth, when I really don't have a need for like 20 different rocks, and the earth can really use them. So I'm going to bring some of them back to the earth. Some of them I'll keep because they mean something to me, or I know where I got them from, and I love to meditate with them or feel the energy. But for the rest, I'm going to let them go, and I think I have a really good idea for how I want to do that. So I thought it would be cool to take these rocks that I've decided to let go of, and we could place some meaning on them and just kind of throw them into the water and let go of things. So that seemed fun. Here, you want one?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Take one of the big ones.
Take one of the big ones? I'll take this one.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to let go of anxiety, but hopefully make this mean that I just, in general, not let my anxiety stop me.
When I was younger, I placed sentimental value on every single item I owned and refused to get rid of anything, even if I personally didn't want it. Either because that object brought me to a memory, or it was given to me by someone special, and I was worried that getting rid of the object would make me forget. Or I was worried about hurting someone's feelings if I didn't want it, and making them think I didn't appreciate them if I didn't keep every single thing I was ever given. I didn't realize I was allowed to grow out of things. One night when we were all sitting and chatting in California, my Nonna said, "When you leave this earth, you can't take anything with you." And that really stuck with me and opened my eyes. It made me realize that I don't have a true reason for holding on to so many things, and I'm just carrying unnecessary weight, both physically and emotionally. Having less gives me a better sense of who I truly am, so I'm not placing my identity in the hands of specific things. Because I think I've attached my identity to specific objects for a lot of my life growing up. Just trying to figure out who I was and thinking that I'd find the answer within things or people and not actually within myself. I found experiences to be so much more meaningful to me. Living my life, cherishing each day at a time, has allowed me to focus on here and now and where I am, not so much where I've been. And that's how I started to see myself clearly for what feels like the first time.
This rock is almost a perfect oval or a perfect circle. Look at it. It's something else, right? So for both of us, I want to let go of perfectionism.
That's a good one.
2 skips this time. I'm out of practice.